ever. I didn't really care.
For over 16 years, I've had the honor of working with survivors of childhood sexual abuse.
What's up, everybody? Let's let everybody tune in. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me good. Y'all can hear me? I bet. I had some audio issue on one of the other videos, so I've been trying to make sure everything working. Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 10 out of Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all. Let y'all rocking with me. This video is gonna be about how I found the COs that beat me inside of prison. I was just scrolling through the internet. I had a completely different video planned. I was scrolling through the internet. I found the arrest log because there was multiple COs from Lancaster Correctional Institution that were arrested. I think only 2 of them were actually found guilty. So I'm looking them up. I'm looking for a mugshot. I'm looking because I haven't seen their faces since 2013, 2014. And I think to myself, well, let me try social media, Facebook, Instagram. And I found one. And through that one, I found all of them because they're all still friends with each other. So literally everybody, they're liking each other's pictures, they're everything. And I felt some type of way seeing their profile pictures because I only saw them in a uniform. I didn't get to see what they look like with their family. I didn't get to, when they're doing videos and smiling, laughing, I didn't see that person. Who I saw was up in your face, was screaming, was hitting you, smacking you, throwing you around, stomping on you with boots. When you get to Lancaster CI, they get on the bus. Everybody's got to put their head. They tell you to put your head under your balls. They want you to put your fucking forehead on the floor of the bus. And when they walk down the aisle, they smack the shit out of everybody on the back of their heads. And then they tell you to get off. You get off. They're throwing you off. You get into this huge room. You strip naked. Everybody stands there. Everybody's getting slapped in their face. This is how it was when you got to Lancaster. Everybody went through this. Everybody's getting the shit smacked out of them. When you go into the orientation dorm and you're learning the facial commands, left face, right face, about face, all that shit, when you fuck up, you get smacked. You get, full force, they cock back, boom, smack the shit out of you. If you flinch, you're getting hit again, or they're going to put you up against the wall and fuck you up. When the doors pop, if you're not dressed and ready to stand outside of your cell, they come in and fuck you up. You're getting your ass whooped on all corners. Any little thing, you look wrong, you breathe wrong, you're getting hands put on you. And I mean, that shit didn't bother me as much. You know what I mean? Like I remember when the door opened up, I didn't even peep. I was still asleep. The CO came in, started beating the fuck out of me while I was on my bunk. I remember getting the shit smacked out of me because I said something to someone else that was in another dorm. One of my brothers had shouted out to me. I shouted out something back. That CO told my CO smacked the fuck out of me. And, you know what I mean? Like that shit wasn't as bad as some of the things that they used to do. When I got inside of B-Dorm, it was another ball game because they used to come in with the basketballs from when we go to rec and play dodgeball with everybody as we sit up on our bunks. You know what I mean? We sit up on our bunks. You're not allowed to flinch. You're not allowed to move. And they would launch the basketball hard as hell off of somebody's face, off of someone's head. If you flinch, if you move, if you weave it, they're going to beat you. You know what I mean? And they're going to beat you in front of everyone. They would come in, they put their gloves on, and they would just start whooping shit. And if you block, that pisses them off even more. So you pretty much just got to stand there and get your shit punched in repeatedly. You know what I mean? You see kids getting thrown off the bunk. They flip the whole bunk over. Their shit goes everywhere. They're stomping on them on the floor, hitting them in their ribs. The bunks, right? You know, on a normal rack, it has that bar that comes across. Well, we used to kick the bars off, put a handle on it, and hit people with them like baseball bats. The COs would keep one inside of the bubble and beat them, and they would come out and hit us with it. They hit you in the shins with it. They hit you in the body with it. And it's literally just a metal bar, you know what I mean? With a flat surface. It's not circular. It's got 4 sides to it, and they would just hit you with it. And it felt like you were getting hit with a metal pipe. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what it was. Even that, as much as we hated it, as much as we could feel the tension in the dorm when they would come in and we knew that they were about to play this game with us. We knew that they were about to just start fucking people up and taking off on people. And I remember a Spanish CO came in, he popped off on the kid closest to the water fountain. Just went to teeing off on this kid's jaw, grabbed his ankles, ripped him off the bunk, went to stomping on his fucking face. This kid's trying to cover up. He's just getting beat. And we're just watching it, hoping that it isn't us, it isn't one of ours. You know what I mean? If it's an enemy, if it's a neutron, it is what it is, because it has to happen to somebody. You know it has to happen to somebody. But when you watch one of your own get beat like that, the worst beating for me by a CO was when I got fired up in the back of my head. Because that morning, one of my brothers popped off on a Zoe, put a hole in his head. It was fucking disgusting. But he put a huge hole in his head, and then I got hit up. They took one of my brothers that had nothing to do with it. They took him, the Zoe that had the hole in his head, me, and the one that crashed me, all into the back of B-Dorm. Me and the one that had the hole, we didn't get touched because we were already bleeding. The 2 others got beat. The one that crashed me, they beat the shit out of him, and they beat my brother. But what they did is they handcuffed them first and put them onto the ground and just pummeled them. Like, they put their gloves on. The captain came. Everyone was present. The captain, the sergeant, the officers. They put their gloves on, and I watched them beat them. And, you know, hearing somebody screaming for their mom and just screaming in general, just hearing the sounds of pain, just watching someone's face get beat in to the point that it's not recognizable. His face was out here. It looked like they broke his fucking jaw. Like, they beat him bad. The Zoe that got me, they fucked him up too, but it wasn't as worse as my brother got it. He got it the worst, and I'm handcuffed and pushed against the wall, and I can't do nothing. You know what I mean? And I didn't have to watch, and I looked away, but it's the sounds. I couldn't stop hearing the sounds he was making, the grunting, you know, you hear the COs just talking shit, huffing and puffing and hitting them and stomping them, and I don't know, just seeing all that fucked me up a lot worse than a lot of the other violence, the cuttings, the stabbings, because it's more of a helpless situation. It's different when you see 2 pits going at it, when you see 2 people that want to take each other's head off and they go at it, versus when you see somebody that's handcuffed laying on the floor, screaming, getting pummeled by 4 or 5 grown fucking men. It fucks your head up in a different way. And you know, when I was taking the confinement and the CO came up to my window, eyes wide as fuck, He's like, oh, you want to play? All right, we're going to play some games. And they started starving me on my trays. They were emptying out my trays and throwing them in my cell. They ended up gassing the shit out of me. It's these COs that I found, the same CO that called me out to fight and took me into a private room and took his belt off. I was like, what's up, you want to fight? And everybody told me how he does it. He'll fight, but he's going to put you in confinement right after. You know what I mean? Like, there was certain officers you could bump, but this wasn't one of them. Like, he was a bitch, you know what I'm saying? And the only reason he was doing this is because the X-Men were too pussy at the time to come and hit me up. So they tried to send an officer at me, telling the officer I've been talking shit about him. So the officer pulls me in the room. Man, if you want to bump, we can bump, but I know you pussy. You just gonna put me in confinement. I'm gonna get hit with a new charge, assault on a corrections officer, whatever. But it was just the type of pressure that these COs were applying, acting so gangster, acting so vicious. They would put on this whole front like they're so savage, where they're beating the fuck out of us. They're talking shit to us. They're telling us, oh, we're going to put you in that dorm so that gang gets you. Holding us down. They're breaking jaws. They're hitting people with walkie-talkies, splitting their heads. And I get put into confinement. After all that shit went down, after watching bro get beat like that and all that shit, I get put into confinement, and I'm just sitting there, you know, thinking about it at 1, 2, 3 in the morning, starving, my stomach's hurting because we don't get any canteen in confinement. I'm up, I got them hunger pains that are just keeping me up in the middle of the night. And I'm just thinking about killing these COs. Like, that's all that was just going through my head, was just killing them. Because it's like, the abuse doesn't stop. It stops for you, but it doesn't stop for anyone else. And I feel that one of the main reasons that people get out of prison and don't look back and don't fuck with anyone they were in there with is because it's like, you're finally away from it. You finally don't have to deal with it.